Minister of Natural Resources, Vikram Bharat. The Agri-Investment Forum and Expo will bring together policymakers, development partners, foreign and local private investors, farmers and distributors to determine how investment can be encouraged so as to reduce the food import bill by 25% by 2025. Minister of Foreign and CARICOM Affairs Dr. Amory Brown, Minister of Agriculture, Land and Fisheries Kazim Hussain, and Minister in the Ministry of Agriculture, Land and Fisheries Avinash Singh accompanied the Prime Minister on this trip. Minister of Finance Kalm Imbert will act as Prime Minister until Dr. Rowley's return. Former Minister of Energy Conrad Enil has been appointed High Commissioner to Guyana. According to a press release from the Ministry of Foreign and CARICOM Affairs, Enil was presented with his instruments by appointment by Minister of Foreign and CARICOM Affairs, Dr. Amory Brown, during a brief presentation ceremony. Senator Brown indicated that His Excellency would be guided by the government's policy framework, which underscores that the Ministry of Foreign and CARICOM Affairs and its diplomatic network of overseas missions must be the front line of projecting the interests of Trinidad and Tobago internationally. Enil has considerable experience in the areas of energy, finance and business, having served as Minister of Energy and Energy Industries between 2007 to 2010 and Minister in the Ministry of Finance between 2001 to 2006. He is also the current chairman of the National Gas Company of Trinidad and Tobago. To other news, an electrical power outage at the Navet water treatment plant on Monday is being blamed for residents of southeast Trinidad receiving dirty water in their taps. On Monday, the Water and Sewerage Authority advised customers experiencing a discolored supply in their lines not to use the water. The affected areas stretch from Princestown to parts of Mayaro, Moruga and Barrackpore. Leader of Government Business in the Senate, Paula Guppy-Schoon, explained the situation in response to a question on behalf of the Minister of Public Utilities.
On Monday, May 16, 2022, an electrical power outage was experienced, as a result of which the pumps at the reservoir were unable to send raw water to the plant for treatment and storage within the clear well. This situation resulted in low clear well levels being experienced at the Navet water treatment plant, resulting in discolored water being transmitted into the system.
WASA advised that it immediately closed the transmission lines to contain the discolored water from continuing to enter the distribution systems. The authority also flushed a clear well at the Navet plant along with the transmission main. Mrs. Guppy-Schoon said the water supply has already been restored to over 75% of WASA customers.
Water color was restored. Each offtake, starting with those closest to the plant, was systematically opened, allowing clear water to enter the distribution system to flush those lines. Once again, pushing any remnant discolored water out through the still opened washout valves. This process would therefore allow the distribution system to be fully flushed. Several booster stations along this distribution network were restarted, and complete restoration of a supply of clear water is expected by 8 p.m. tonight.
And over to sports. Nicholas Pooran's Sunrisers Hyderabad celebrated a nail-biting victory over Kieron Pollard's Mumbai Indians in Tuesday's IPL contest. Sunrisers took first strike, amassing 193 for 6 from their 20 overs. Rahul Tripathi top-scored with 76, while Nicholas Pooran assisted with 38. In response, Mumbai were well ahead of the required rate at 95 for 1 at the halfway mark. However, young fast bowling sensation Umran Malik set them back with 3 strikes in the latter stages of the innings that hurt the Mumbai batters tremendously. Tim David smashed a quick 46 from 18 balls, but Mumbai fell short of the target as Sunrisers clinched a narrow victory by 3 runs. Although picking up a win on Tuesday, they still will not qualify for the playoff round. And that was your TTT News. I am Roxanne Suraj. Good morning, everyone.
this is simply a taste of Carnival 2022 because it's nothing like the Carnival we've grown accustomed to. All right, so as a matter of fact, today we need Queen's Park Savannah, Steel Pan, the medium bands, and of course the big bands. They're going to be giving us a musical showdown in the big yard.
Keeping the carnival alive. This is the land of carnival. This is the home free.
The Mother Church of the Anglican Diocese suffered significant damage during the earthquake of 2018. Efforts are underway to raise funds to restore this national heritage site. You are invited to make your donations with monthly deposits at any branch of the First Citizens Bank, account number 2696950, Marval Road Branch, in the name of the Incorporated Trustees of the Anglican Holy Trinity Cathedral Restoration.
Welcome to another informative episode of TT Online Community Voices. It is brought to you with the kind compliments of the Ministry of Sport and Community Development.
Every single citizen should be able to at least have the conversation now of what to do next.
To help you to achieve your goals, your life goals, and to further progress yourself in life.
Wake up, and welcome to the Now Morning Show. It's a beautiful Wednesday morning. This morning, the sky was lilac when I was trying to get here. So I hope that you're able to see the beauty in the day. Today, my name is Ruckus. Welcome to the Now Morning Show. And some more beauty in the day. Please welcome Kimberly D'Souza and Ayinka Will. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning, Ruckus.
How are you doing this morning?
I almost said good morning, Charlie.
Hey!
It was a nice little
I would not
like
be mad at that. I've accepted that on some mornings I get to feel like Charlie. I'm okay with it.
I'm going to just sip my tea. Not this morning.
Hi, guys. You didn't say your signature line. Today is
Happy Hump Day.
There we go.
Also, if you used to watch, what does that show, Mean Girls? On Wednesdays, we wear pink.
Really?
I'm very proud of it.
Oh, wow, this is totally
adding
coincidence.
some color to the day, so it's going to be a good day.
Does that make her a mean girl?
I don't know about that part.
I was just wondering.
Why be contrary? Like, she's pretty awesome.
Let's get into trending. We have a packed show this morning, so let's get into trending, Kimberly.
I mean, well, first of all, the Prime Minister is in Guyana, right? He went across to Guyana to talk about the agricultural sector. And of course, he was met by the Prime Minister when he arrived at the airport yesterday.
Nice.
So he's going across there to talk about the agri. They actually have this week, they have the Agri Investment Forum and Expo. Right. And of course, they're going to be talking about investment in the agri sector and how to reduce the food import bill by 25% by 2025.
Big numbers.
Yeah.
I know that also recently the president was in England actually with the Queen celebrating her jubilee, I believe it was, and so the defense force sort of played for them as well, and we had a whole contingent that went over and that kind of thing. So let me say good morning to the team from the defense force that would have went over to represent Trinidad and Tobago, and of course her Excellency Paula May Weeks as well.
Yeah, who went across there.
Yeah.
There's also to Conrad Enel. He was also appointed as the High Commissioner of Guyana. Of course, Mr. Enel was he was a former Minister of Energy.
Right.
He also was, he's a senior lecturer in Arthur Lockjack, and of course, he's the current chairman of the National Gas Company. So he has a lot of experience in not just energy, but finance and investment. So he's the new commissioner to Guyana. So good things happening in Guyana. And we are obviously,
Guyana is the place to be.
And we're going to be a part of it, it seems. You know,
And speaking of being a part of it, our guests this morning are going to make you want to be a part of today's show. We are joined by none other than Mrs. Sharon Rowley this morning, and we're going to be talking about domestic violence awareness, something that we have touched on a bit over the course of the
We spent a whole day Monday talking about that.
Yeah.
But we're going to continue the conversation because I think it's very, very important that we continue it for a while, and it's at different facets of it and how we can help change the narrative or change the story, change the outcomes for sure.
Right.
Because we certainly need to change those. But if you are getting ready to leave home soon, I want to just give you a heads up that from today, from 9 a.m. this morning, the Ministry of Works will be doing some road work between Orange Grove and Trin City, is what they said, from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. today. Well, today, tomorrow, and Friday. So just kind of plan accordingly. They're going to reduce to 2 lanes of traffic.
Yes.
So just be careful, be wise, follow the instructions of the traffic wardens, etc. And everything should be all right. I just say, let me give you that heads up while you're having your coffee this morning.
The struggle in the east is going to be real today.
Relearn.
And it's on both sides of the highway.
Yes.
That location usually does have traffic to begin with. So
Yeah.
I don't envy you East people at all.
you shouldn't.
I am a East person, but by the time we leave home on mornings, it's just clear road
So
for
you
us to
leaving
go.
home
So
before God wake up.
exactly.
So at the end of the day,
Actually, God is with me on the road.
Yes, it's true.
He wakes
It's
up that
true.
hour
At
as
that hour of the
well.
morning, you
Yes,
need-
to guide me. So we're there, both of us. We're on the road coming down to this morning.
And also with us is not one but two Rowleys. Today we're also joined by Isaiah Rowley, a young golfer who I'm very excited to talk to. In terms of being young in the sport, but also representing Scotland. But
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
All right. Well, yeah, talking about Isaiah Rowley, I think your mic just cut off there as he
Yes.
has to gets ready to head to Scotland for the Junior Open Championship.
Of course.
He joins us inside the first hour. And also, today we'll be chatting with some young men a young man from QRC and a representative from the PTA as well, to continue the conversation on domestic violence, because school plays a very important role on how we educate our young men. And QRC has been taking the lead when it comes to educating their young men about how to treat women and domestic violence situations and where it starts from and how to avoid it, how to avoid certain types of conflict. I know we spoke to them about it about a year ago, so this is actually their 1 year anniversary. So I look forward to that conversation this morning. We, of course, have some new music to drop on you, as we do most days at the close of the show. So I encourage you guys to stick around. It's the Now Morning Show. Kimberly D'Souza is here. Anchor Will is here. My name is Rockus, and we go till 8 a.m. and we come back. We have so much more. Stay tuned.
Walk in your beauty, walk in your power, your tall, hot beauty. Walk in the power, walk in the light, walk in the rhythm and right. Show them your strength, show them your...
D-Best Baby Registry is here. At dbesttoys.com, we want to help you get everything needed to comfortably welcome your new baby. dbesttoys.com is loaded with all the baby essentials to suit your style and safety needs and to fit everyone's budget. Parents can create their baby registry from the comfort of their homes. Just log on to dbesttoys.com and click on the registry tab. Browse all our items from cribs, strollers, car seats, walkers and bouncers to feeding and nursing accessories, potties, play mats, clothing and sensory toys, and simply click Add to Registry. Parents also enjoy 10% off their remaining items in their registry upon completion. Be gifted with what you really need to keep your baby happy and healthy, and create the best baby registry at dbesttoys.com today.
Trinidad and Tobago, get ready for the ultimate musical experience. Saturday, June 4th, the Port of Spain International Waterfront, Suite 100.1 FM brings to you Jazz, a fusion of our music and culture. Introducing performances by Pedro Lazama, Joshua Regrello, Nyla Blackman, and Soka. Sharada Patisar with a tribute to her father, Mangel Patisar. Introducing Adrian Kong, called Beba Henderson, featuring Kay Allen and Mauricia Kagan. Freetown Collective, Patrice Roberts and the A-Team Band. The Boss, King David Rudder. And the Queen of Bacchanal, Destra. Limited advance tickets now, $500. Premium drinks inclusive. Dress code, you must wear white. To purchase tickets, log on to www.islandetickets.com. No credit card, no worries. Stay tuned to Suite 100 and follow us on Facebook and Instagram for ticket outlet details. Jazz, a fusion of our music and culture, brought to you by the #1 adult contemporary station in Trinidad and Tobago. Suite 100, powered by Digicel. Digicel, better together. Udicott, signed, sealed, delivered. And the TDT Limited Media Network. This is Jazz.
Hi, and welcome to Pop, Penny on Point with profiles on persons of interest. When we looked at your credentials, Nadia, I don't think we had enough spaces in our lines to fill it in. VIP or general?
General, all day.
You see that? Yeah.
You can use Hennessy, Cavassier, anything that you want to be fancy.
And if I want to do a rum instead?
Listen.
17 minutes after 6 o'clock, welcome back to the Now Morning Show. This morning we shine the spotlight on how we can do our part to make students more aware of domestic violence in schools and how we can fix it, find solutions, that kind of thing. This morning we shine a spotlight on the Now Morning Show with Mrs. Sharon Clark Rowley.
Now, as we continue to grapple with the causes, effects, and solutions to gender-based violence, the conversation surrounding the preventative measures also arise. Many people believe that one of the ways to curb these instances of violence is teaching children about it at the school level and including it as part of the school curriculum. And with me to talk more about this is the Spotlight Initiative National Champion and partner with the law firm MG Daly & Partners, Mrs. Sharon Clark Rowley. Mrs. Clark Rowley, good morning. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning, Kimberly, and thank you for inviting me to the show this morning.
Of course, I must say it really is a pleasure to have you here, and I'm excited to jump into this conversation.
Indeed.
Now, you've been selected by the UN representative as one of the nation's Spotlight champions. First of all, what is the Spotlight Initiative?
Well, the Spotlight Initiative is a global partnership between the European Union and the United Nations, whereby their object is to eliminate gender-based violence against women and girls specifically by 2030. 2030 being one of the UN's goals to attain sustainable development throughout the world. And with that in mind, one of those goals is gender-based equality. So if we are able to get rid of domestic violence, gender-based violence, we are on the road to achieving those goals.
Now, as a national champion, I mean, what do you believe we can use to actually achieve that, to eliminate gender-based violence?
Okay, firstly, I see myself in the capacity as champion as a voice for the voiceless, because there are so many women and girls who suffer daily at the hands of violent men, and they are unable to speak out. So if we can get persons to speak out on their behalf, to champion the cause, then again we're on the right path. I see those persons, as being your sister's keeper, and that in itself is important. We need to be there for our sisters, and our projects need to be applicable to that goal.
Great. Now, you recently hosted discussions among our nation's young people at an event held by the NGO ICANN, and of course there was also the United Nations Population Fund. It was entitled GBV and Me. How successful was this event?
You know, it was a resounding success. And in that regard, we had young people both from Trinidad and Tobago and the Caribbean diaspora. And what we did, it was hybrid. So we had those who came from Trinidad and Tobago in-house, so to speak, at the residence of the Prime Minister in Tobago. And then we had those who were virtually with us, so right up the Caribbean. And the contributions were really mind-boggling. So at the end of the day, we were able to get insights into GBV, and also there were solutions which were offered by the participants and the panel, which consisted of young people.
Now, Mrs. Rowley, can you share some of those solutions, at least two, that would have been discussed?
Okay. One of them would have been, and I'll go directly because you raised this, to bring in education about more education on GBV. And in that regard, I thought that it would be a good thing to introduce it in some way into the school curriculum. And in doing so, one wonders, okay, at what level do we bring that into the curriculum? And I remember some years ago, because when I was involved with the personal development program at Bishop Anstey High School, we had attempted to get a social worker to come and speak to the young people, the young students, so they are therefore in high school. And she said she didn't have the time because she needed to be in the primary schools. So therefore, when we're looking at teaching about gender-based violence, making students more aware of it, I think we need to go into the primary school and probably start at standards 4 and 5, where children are more aware of what is going on. Though when we read the stories, we realize that from the age of 2, you have children who are totally familiar personally with GBV. So my suggestion was that, so that was one of them. And of course another suggestion, which was raised by the young people, being young people, is that you promote the elimination of gender-based violence by social media. And of course, you know, that's their thing. You have Twitter, you have Instagram, and whatever other forms of social media that you can use to relay the whole issue on GBV.
Now, when you're talking primary school, is it going to be primary school and secondary school, or are they going to get that teaching from that stage to carry them onwards?
Okay, now you remember that this is my thought.
No, of course,
right?
Yes, yes.
So that I would think that we go from primary school into secondary school. So we deal with it at both levels. Those who have missed it at primary school, you deal with it at secondary school.
Now, how will creating awareness in young children help?
You know, there is the proverb which says, train up a child in the way in which he should go, and when he's old, he will not depart from it. So once we train young children, young people about gender-based violence, about the ills of GBV, about all that can happen with regard to GBV, domestic violence, then when they are older, they will understand that this is not something that we must practice. You must learn about love. You must know that there mustn't be domestic abuse. You must learn that you must show respect. And we have to teach our boys and our girls about respect for each other, respect for themselves. And once we do this and teach them it's all about love. So once we do this, we know that our young people will be on the correct path, and we will be on the way to attaining that goal of gender equality, because that's what it's all about. This is what it's all about. So by 2030, we know that we will not have eliminated gender-based violence or gender inequality, but we know that we're on the road to achieving that. And with that mindset, we continue along that road to whenever we reach that goal.
Now, Mrs. Clark-Rowley, the conversation coming out of the GBV and Me seminar that you had recently, of course, this was your opinion that maybe we should start teaching, gender-based violence in primary schools. But I'm just wondering about the parents who may be concerned that I'm sending my children to school for education, for academic curriculum, rather than that sort of social issue. I mean, how do we respond to that?
Firstly, as parents, I mean, they are entitled to, I would say, control the lives of their children. And in many cases, some are not able to do that. And therefore, if you're not able to do that, we want to deal with other channels, one of them being the schools. And if we are going to the schools, we go through the normal procedure, I would think. You have consent forms. So you send the consent forms home. Are you prepared to allow your child to be part of these discussions? It's all part of personal development. So if your program may not be entitled GBV, but as part of a personal development scheme within the school, then these could be introduced. So you have your consent forms, you bring in your PTA, because the PTA is supposed to be essential in the school environment. So once we do that, I think that we have covered it. Of course, if a parent doesn't wish to have his or her child join the conversation on the days when it is introduced, then she or he is free to say, look, my child will sit out this session.
Okay. And given that you've introduced the concept, what are some of the topics you anticipate might be addressed in school?
Okay, I think that it's going to be wide-based. So you deal with respect for each other, love for each other, and then you go into the subject matter. Children experience, street harassment, which really is a form of gender-based violence, whether you call it catcalling and think it's simpler, but it is the start. You have domestic abuse. You deal with bullying, again another form. We deal with cyber safety. So you choose the areas which will be and can be addressed using the input of all these young people, because the UN actually had a hashtag, nothing for us without us. So we bring the young people in, which was what the whole GBV and Me project was about. We got the information, we got the opinions of all these young people, as I say, from Trinidad and Tobago and the rest of the Caribbean. And you're not going to ignore them. You're going to put this down on paper and take it further. As I say, take it further. You can introduce the same program in churches, in the communities.
That was my next question, yes.
Okay, good.
So my next question, of course, is, now that we have a model to follow with the school system, are we going to use, the churches, the youth groups, that kind of thing?
Most definitely, because school is there, but you have those who are in the churches, and you use our religious leaders, faith-based persons, to deal with that. And in fact, ICANN proposes to have future events, such as the one we had, the GBV and Me with the young people, dealing with men. And because, and as I say, men, this cannot be achieved, equality cannot be achieved without the input of men. So we have to bring, if we as women are to realize our full potential, then we have to have the men, because they're the ones who need to understand women. They need to understand our minds, and they need to understand and tell us in their discussions why this happens, how they see it could be stopped effectively, and we move forward on that basis.
Now, I'm glad that you mentioned one of the topics to be discussed will be cyberbullying, because I feel everybody is online now. Has this been an increasing problem? Knowing that you're a gender-based violence advocate, have you seen this to be an increasing problem with girls online?
It is reported that it is. And it will be once we all have, these young people have phones, once they have computers, once they have access. So to this information, you will find that this happens. We have seen cases in the United States where young women have killed themselves, committed suicide because of the effects of bullying. So that online. So that, again, because of the state of social media nowadays, this is something which has to be addressed.
Of course. Now, Mrs. Rowley, I know that you're an advocate for women and girls, but also looking at gender-based violence in a broader spectrum and including the men. Do you think we as women as well could do more to ensure the protection of them as well?
Of course, I think it is quid pro quo, so that you deal, I mean, they're helping us, we have to help them. And in the Caribbean case, even in Trinidad and Tobago, you find that you have had in the past and continue to have social norms where the man is regarded, the boy is regarded as the boy, mommy's boy. And while you will find that in some cases, the mothers are very lenient with their sons. And I feel that, as you said, and I think when I was listening before, they were talking about QRC having something in place to deal with gender-based violence.
Well, yes,
right,
yes.
so that is important. You go right there with the boys and you get their thoughts, you get their ideas, because there are those who are totally against GBV and will support the cause. And in fact, the other national champion is Muhammad Muakil from Freetown Collection. And I think he was an excellent choice. And I expect to be hearing more about him and the way he addresses the issues with the young men on GBV.
Nice. And I mean, coming out of the Spotlight Initiative, Mrs. Clark-Rowley, what else can we expect from the campaign?
Well, as I say, I am working with ICANN. And in that regard, ICANN uses drama and the creative arts to deal with vulnerable youth. And with the same GVV aspect in mind, this is why I said they are going to have, I'm told that they will be having other projects dealing with men, young men, and older men, and faith-based leaders dealing with the whole issue of GBV.
Now, Mrs. Clark-Rowley, as a gender-based violence advocate, are there any other organizations or any other people you partner with just to get the message about awareness across?
So far, not really, but it is my intention because there are a number of groups that I align myself with. One is the Down Syndrome Network, and persons with disabilities actually can be victims of domestic violence where men take advantage of young women. So if one can introduce that as a topic into the discussions with these young people. Similarly, I associate myself with NTOTO, which again is a non-governmental association which assists and develops young people. Again, that is an avenue to bring it in. So at every opportunity I have, I intend to treat with the issue in order to make myself relevant as champion.
I like how you said that, make yourself relevant as champion.
Yes, definitely.
Nice. I mean, Mrs. Clark-Rowley, thank you so much for joining us. Before we close, though, any final thoughts about this issue, about anything that's happening right now that you want to address?
Basically, since I linked GBV to what we are seeing in the media, and last week I think we had reached a point where persons could have considered that women's violence against women was becoming a national crisis. When you open the papers and you see 3 women killed in 3 days, and the next day you see a 4th woman has been killed, you know that it is serious, and you know that action has to be taken. Coming out of that event on Saturday, the minister and the Ministry of the Prime Minister, Ayanna Webster-Roy, spoke very comprehensively about what all that the ministry was doing, and I was quite surprised at the full extent. They covered legislation, they covered socioeconomic policies, they covered children, they were covering GBV, the legislation, Domestic Violence Act, Sexual Offences Act. All that is being done. So while we sit back, we may not be hearing fully about it, but I'm sure at some point in time they will bring it to the fore, because we need to know what is being done, what avenues are open to persons who are victims and persons who are survivors of GBV. And I say to everyone, all women and men, be champions of the cause.
Mrs. Clark-Rowley, thank you so much for coming in and just sharing this interesting topic. Who knows, maybe we can see it in a few years, but we'll have to wait and see.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
Of course.
Okay.
And that was Mrs. Sharon Clark-Rowley, who, of course, is the Spotlight Initiative National Champion. And of coming out of a conversation recently, we heard that there might be, there's an opinion to teach gender-based violence in schools. According to Mrs. Sharon Clark-Rowley, we may want to see it maybe at the primary school level first and take it from there. So you're on the Now Morning Show. We're going to take a quick break and be right back. Stay with us.
Every day, we aspire to be better at what we do. Deliver more news more often to more people. We are your news team, reporting on the people, events, and issues that affect your life. TTT News, first at 6:30 p.m. TTT News, committed, accurate, relevant. TTT News, nightly at 6:30.
The best laptops and tablets are at dbesttoys.com. Get an Evo 11.6-inch ultra-thin notebook, a Gateway 11.6-inch FHD ultra-slim notebook, a Gateway 14.1-inch ultra-slim notebook, a Gateway 11.6-inch 2-in-1 convertible notebook, or an HP 14-inch laptop at the best prices in TNT. Get the Fi 7 tablet for $474. We also carry Fi HD 8 tablet, Fi HD 10 tablet, and the Amazon Kids Edition 7, 8, and 10-inch tabs. You can also shop the latest Amazon Fire Sticks. Call now at 32-DBEST to order, or visit us in-store at Forces Flagship Mathbean. Shop online now at dbesttoys.com. Free delivery available throughout Trinidad and Tobago. Cash or links on delivery. The best deals on laptops and tablets are at dbesttoys.com.
TTT News, delivering more news more often to more people. Follow us on social media at TTT Live Online. Log on to www.ttt.live.
This is simply a taste of Carnival 2022 because it's nothing like the Carnival we've grown accustomed to. All right, so as a matter of fact, today we in the Queen's Park Savannah, Steel Pan, the medium bands, and of course the big bands. They're going to be giving us a musical showdown in the big yard.
Keeping the carnival alive. This is the land of Carnival. This is the home free.
Oh, hi there. Welcome. Welcome to my shop. This is Jones Repair Shop, and I'm Mr. Jones. In my shop, there's nothing that cannot be fixed. The number one thing that I like to fix are hearts. Can you think about somebody who has heart in your life? Wow, your parents. They have heart, they have an inner strength, right? So, has heart, everyone, means to have an inner strength.
At just 12 years old, Isaiah Rowley is headed off to play this year's Junior Open Championship, which is being played in Scotland over the course of July 11th to 13th. In this tournament, Isaiah will be up against competitors from 60 nations around the world, where he will be waving the Trinidad and Tobago flag high. Now, to tell us more about his journey, Isaiah joins us via Zoom here on Now. Isaiah, good morning.
Good morning to you.
Welcome to the Now Morning Show, albeit virtually. I am very honored to have you speaking with me this morning because you've been dubbed a prodigy, which alludes to an exceptional ability discovered at a very young age. So how old were you when you first picked up a club?
I was 5 years old when I first picked up, and it was my godfather who introduced me to the sport.
That probably means the club was a little bit bigger than you, huh?
Yeah.
And in that case, it's something that you do alongside homeschooling. So could you tell me a little bit as to what your practice routine is like?
Sure. So my practice routine, for my week, I have Tuesdays and Thursdays in the morning with my coach at 9:30. So I would get up, get ready for that, and head out, do my practice. I usually finish around 11, 12. I would come home around 1 o'clock, around 1 o'clock, and I'll come home, do my work. And if I had done work before I had went out, I would just have less to do. And sometimes once I finish in time, I would head out in the afternoon as well to go out and play.
Quite the training session there.
And then on the other weekdays, I would just go out to practice in the afternoon mostly times, practice or go out and play. And then on Saturdays and Sundays, I have tournaments, so I'd usually enter those.
Nice. That's a lot of work, but we're seeing the fruits of your labor, so to speak, because you were the youngest ever in the first flight at the 114th edition of the TNT Golf Opening. That is back in March, yes? In this case, the tournament that you're heading out to Scotland for, are you aware of your age standings? Are you the youngest there as well?
I don't think I'll be the youngest because it's an international tournament, so it's from everyone from 12 to 16. So I most likely won't be the youngest, but I'll be in the youngest category of it.
Okay. And with all our practice, I am not worried about you at all. I'm only excited. But after this one, are there any others that you're working towards? Tournaments, that is.
After this one, yes, but not. We don't have any scheduled out. But I'm working on my game very hard, and as well with my schoolwork, and hopefully getting better and better, and being able to get into a good college later on as well.
So we're looking at an academic or athletic scholarship, perhaps, where you'd be able to continue to play golf, I imagine.
Yes.
And do we have an idea of what sort of schools you want to go to already?
I have a few ideas, but not too many. I still have to look into it. But I have a few ideas of it.
Fair. In that case, I want to know who you're rooting for. We never know who's watching, and we might be able to make that link. Any ideas that you want to share? A couple?
Yeah, I been looking at Texas Longhorns, and then a few in my Florida, just because Florida has a big circuit of schools and as well golf.
Yes.
Florida is known for plenty golf, and it'll make it easier since it's a basically all-round kind of state.
Right. And speaking of Florida, we know internationally, everybody knows the name Tiger Woods in terms of inspiration where the game of golf is concerned. Are there any other athletes in the sport or even outside the sport that you look to for inspiration?
Yes, one that I look up to very highly is Rory McIlroy. Ever since basically I started and I knew about him, I was just looking up to him because I found it really amazing and cool because he started really, really young. He started around, I think it was 19 or something. He won his first tournament, so I found it really cool knowing that he started young, and it means that everybody else could start young, including myself.
Check that one off your list of things to do because you definitely started young. So much so that I understand that the St. Andrews Golf Club had a rule that may or may not have been changed because of you. What was that rule, and did it in fact become amended because of your presence? Tell me about that one.
So it was where people over a certain handicap, a handicap is basically a rating of how you shoot your score. So the lower means that you shoot lower scores. So they had, with people with a certain handicap, could not have played, and as well, people of my age. So my mom tried and tried and tried, and they finally let me be able to play. And that first one I played in, I placed 8th in it.
So because of you, they decided we need to adjust that age limitation, yes?
Yes.
Good job. Breaking barriers locally. And speaking of mom, because you mentioned mom was instrumental in that, a little birdie told me that you don't just play exceptional golf, but make some exceptional flavored fudge. Does that still happen?
Yes. Yes.
And is that something you did with mom as well?
Yeah, it does still happen. I'm still pushing it out, but I'm focusing a lot on golf. So anytime I have an order or anything, I would do that. And my mom will also help me out a little more now, since I have to get back either to go to golf, or if I was at golf, she'd put out anything that I need to do and I'll do it.
Lovely. I was about to say sweet, but that would be too corny. And in that case, we look forward to many, many more tournaments coming your way as you continue to do exceptionally well and make Trinidad and Tobago proud. So let me say best of luck in the upcoming tournament in Scotland to you, Isaiah. And hopefully the next time that you bounce up that other Mr. Rowley on the golf course, you can show him a couple more medals, a couple more titles, I hope.
Yeah, I hope so too.
Until the next one, again, best of luck. Thank you very much for joining us this morning. And of course, continue to do us proud. That was prodigy in golf, Isaiah Rowley, who's getting ready to head to Scotland to represent Trinidad and Tobago. And if that doesn't inspire you from the Now Morning Show, don't worry. After the commercial break, we have even more to do just that. Stick around, guys. We'll be back.
In the hot sun, if you tell me it's night, I go say, okay. I don't trust nobody, no. They always have another way. I don't want no bad vibes come around and mess up my day. But they love to...
The Ministry of Tourism, Culture and the Arts, in collaboration with Naparima Bowl, presents Fusion, the Jazz Experience 3, with performances by the National Steel Symphony Orchestra, directed by Akua Leith, featuring Theron Shaw, Quinton Nichols, and 736. Saturday, 21st May, 8 p.m. at the Naparima Bowl. Tickets available from Friday, 13th May from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Admission $100. For further information, call 653-6166, extension 16, or the box office at 657-8770 from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m.
I love the look and smell of litter. From this huge pile, I can see that many people also find it attractive.
Yes, Charlie. Litter is indeed attractive. It attracts roaches, flies and mosquitoes, and rats.
My pets.
Don't be a litter bug, Charlie. Do the right thing. Don't litter.
Welcome to another informative episode of TT Online Community Voices. It is brought to you with the kind compliments of the Ministry of Sport and Community Development.
Every single citizen should be able to at least have the conversation now of what to do next.
To help you to achieve your goals, your life goals, and to further progress yourself in life.
Great and small, exalt
I'm Renee Sion with another edition of Caribbean Week in Review.
All right, so QRC, the Queen's Royal College, takes a stand against domestic violence. And they've been doing the program for a year now. It's called She's Royal. This morning, I want to welcome Form 4 students and student committee member of She's Royal, Kiran Castillo, as well as Vice President of the Queen's Royal College, PTA, Esther Calendar George. Good morning to you guys and welcome to the Now Morning Show.
Thank you.
Well, let me congratulate you on, first of all, this initiative. I know that we would have spoken, I think we spoke to the principal last year, when you were now launching the initiative. Esther, how would you say that it's been going for the past year?
I would say it has been going exceptionally well. And how we know that too is through our, let's say we have certain activities, the participation of the young men, and also the growth. You see the growth in terms of the questions that are asked, how they respond, you know, so it's, I would say, exceptionally well. Yeah.
All right. Kiran, let me jump across to you. As a student, how has the experience been for you? Like, what, if you were to describe what this program is about, what this initiative is about, to somebody who never heard about it before, how would you describe it?
Right. So I'll start with how it started.
Right.
Our principal, he is the one who actually initiated it, and it had the death of a young lady by the name of Samantha Isaac. She was killed by her lover, and then he killed himself. That was years back. And then we had the death of Andrea Barrett and
Sharon Banfield.
And
there were several.
Yeah,
there were several. Sharon Banfield was one of them. Andrea Barrett. There was a whole lot.
Yeah, there was a whole lot. And with the recent ones, it kind of reignites the idea of us wanting to bring change. As a school, we decided, you know, a male institution, that we should take a stand against it. And we formed this committee in order to first talk to the Royalians, talk to the boys in the school.
Right.
You know,
start at home.
Yeah, start at home. And then we want to go forth into other educational institutes in Trinidad in order to spread awareness and get other people on board with us.
Have you seen a change in your peers in the way that they operate, the way that they deal with young ladies, the way that they talk about young ladies?
Yes.
Be honest, sir. Kiran, don't lie to me. We're on national TV.
No, I wouldn't lie.
All right,
but,
let me hear.
I mean, there are some people who still get in there. They're not quite there yet, but they get in there.
So it's a work in progress, right?
Yeah,
because you're undoing years and years of what you're already
It's only 1 year.
Exactly.
We have next year, please go out and stuff. So by the time I leave the school, we will see more change. And it's just working towards getting the word out there, getting more schools involved in similar programs. And I mean, we plan to send committee members into other schools as well to talk about the topic in order to overall spread awareness.
All right, so Esther, you guys have been doing this program for a year. You said some of the questions have been, you've seen the growth in the level of questions that they've been asking. I want to know, what are the young men curious about? What do they want to know more about when it comes to gender-based violence?
Gender-based violence. I think the connection with what actually initiates it, where it comes from, where it stems from.
Right.
That is definitely a conversation that we've been having. Also, you know, how society contributes to gender-based violence. In particular, again, parents, how we interact with our sons in the home, sons and daughters, how we interact with them at home, and of course their peers, because that's who they liaise with. You know, so discussions about things like music, how does music influence behavior? Those types of things come up.
Does it influence behavior?
Well, based
what have
on
you guys been able to deduct?
To deduct, based on the the responses we would have seen in some of the surveys, yes, it does.
It does, okay.
Over time, it does. You know, so these are the little things that add to bringing awareness in terms of how the young men would respond and accept. You know, and of course, we do partner with parents, hence the reason for the QRC PTA being involved on the committee. And we would have had things like the fathers actually doing videos. We would send out SOS, you know, show how you and your sons are bringing awareness to the cause.
Do we have a high turnout of fathers participating in this initiative?
Well, with everything, you know, it takes time to build. But yes, we do. We have key persons. We would have had the student bodies leading the charge in terms of their parents, you know, leading the charge in the discussion.
Making sure that it happens.
Yes.
Kieran, tell me one of the things that stood out to you the most during this past year of doing this initiative.
One of the things that stood out the most is seeing how the young man actually wants to see change.
Right.
In the sense that they understand, I too have a mother. It has female teachers in the school, and we need to care for them. It has people actually, you know, they realize that, you know, this is wrong. So, with seeing that these students...
What is this you're talking about that's wrong?
What we say is our culture, that is suiting ladies on the road when they are uncomfortable with it. And, I mean, raising your voice at ladies as well. And actions like that where it comes out as harsh or you make a woman uncomfortable. You know, when they realize that this is wrong, they realize, you know, I have a teacher and I really like this teacher. This is one of my favorite teachers. I have a mother, I have sisters. They realize that they have people, females, that they love and that they need to play a part in bringing forth change so that they could feel safer.
How do you know when a woman is feeling uncomfortable?
Well, how do you know if someone is happy? How do you know if someone is anxious? You read their, you know, their body actions. You read off of what they show. So, you know, sometimes, I don't know if you probably see it, but I've saw that, you know, people might suit a woman and she wouldn't even look at them.
Acknowledge it.
Yeah, and she might even start walking faster to get away. And that's how you know that they're not comfortable with it. They don't even acknowledge it. So, you know that it's not something they like. So why continue?
Kieran, it's very heartwarming to hear you as a young man be able to say this so plainly, because I think that oftentimes we hear women come in and talking, especially on the show, we hear women come and talk about, you know, all the things that men do and all the problems that they have with men. But I mean, we hear men come and say, you know, we need to do better, we need to do better. But I think that the youth is where it starts, for sure. So congratulations on this initiative in general, but specifically, I am impressed that, I mean, you are, as a young man in Form 4, like, I mean, I was in Form 4 at one point, right? Like, I know how we used to talk in Form 4. You know what I mean?
Let's have those conversations.
And we need to have more of these conversations so that we can say, this is right and this is wrong and this is acceptable and this is not. And, I mean, do you see yourself as a leader in school?
Yes, I do. Because even this, being able to represent the school like this, it shows some sort of leadership skills. Because when I go back in school, people go and see me and be like, you was on TV.
You see fella from TV now.
People go and see me and, you know, they might look up to me now.
And you can continue sharing this message with the younger ones who come after you as well.
Yeah, and by me coming to talk to them about the topic, seeing that I was on TV, they might
know,
want to listen more.
School. Yeah. Congratulations. You're going to have to write me a check when you get big.
I see what.
Good. So, what's next for this initiative, the She's Royal initiative?
So what's next? So Kieran already alluded to it. We are expanding. We'd like to get involved in other schools throughout the nation. One, to commemorate the 1-year anniversary, though, we will be having a walk on the 10th of June in the morning. So the boys, all the young men would be coming out in their houses, and each house will have a flag that will represent someone who had fallen into domestic violence or gender-based violence. And that will take place on the 10th of June in the morning.
10th of June.
Yes,
around
the Queen's Park Savannah.
And everybody can join or just for the school?
For now, we're containing it a little bit, but both is, yes.
Also, as we move forward, we plan to, usually on Wednesdays in school, we would have guidance sessions, which is where the form teacher comes to talk to the class about any problems we may be having in school, classes, otherwise. And now we are taking these classes, these sessions with the form teacher to have conversations about gender-based violence
Nice.
in order to for the whole class to get on board as well. Though
Nice.
we've been having the conversations before, now
Yeah,
to be more
just
frequent.
expand it and just
Yeah.
continue to expand it. And I look forward to getting to other schools as well to be able to say, well, you know, we actually making a difference in the country slowly but surely. I want to thank you both for joining us this morning on
You're
the Morning
welcome.
Show. It wasn't that bad, right?
No, it wasn't.
that
Thank you
bad.
for having us.
Kieran Castillo, Form 4 student at QRC, as well as Esther Calendar George, Vice President of the QRC PTA. Joining us this morning to talk about taking a stand against domestic violence and gender-based violence because, of course, she's royal. We'll take a quick break and come back with more. Stay tuned.
How lucky am I? Heaven's breathing next to me.
Trinidad and Tobago, get ready for the ultimate musical experience. Saturday, June 4th, the Port of Spain International Waterfront, Suite 100.1 FM brings to you Jazz, a fusion of our music and culture. Introducing performances by Pedro Lazama, Joshua Regrello, Nyla Blackman, and Soca. Sharada Patisar with a tribute to her father, Mangel Patisar. Introducing Adrian Kong, called Beaver Henderson, featuring Kay Allen and Mauricia Kagan. Freetown Collective, Patrice Roberts and the A-Team Band. The Boss, King David Rudder. And the Queen of Bacchanal, Destra. Limited advance tickets now, $500. Premium drinks inclusive. Dress code, you must wear white. To purchase tickets, log on to www.islandetickets.com. No credit card, no worries. Stay tuned to Suite 100 and follow us on Facebook and Instagram for ticket outlet details. Jazz, a fusion of our music and culture. Brought to you by the #1 adult contemporary station in Trinidad and Tobago. Suite 100, powered by Digicel. Digicel, better together. Unicot, signed, sealed, delivered. And the TDT Limited Media Network. This is Jazz.
Positivity to me is a way of life. It's a way of being.
I like woods.
Tactical.
If I had so much
This place.
outside of the community.
So we know what I'm a young leader.
Music is the healing. Find a new skill or to do something.
You want this to be 25% of your meal.
You can go to Olympics too.
Tokyo 2020 became the goal.
And we're going to talk about achieving.
And that was my dream, to get 9 ones.
Out of the word achieve, you're left with ICE. Now everybody could achieve and have.
This is simply a taste of Carnival 2022 because it's nothing like the Carnival we've grown accustomed to. All right, so as a matter of fact, today we in the Queen's Park Savannah, Steel Pan, the medium bands, and of course the big bands. They're going to be giving us a musical showdown in the big yard.
Keeping the carnival alive. This is the land of carnival. This is the home free.
TTT News, delivering more news more often to more people. Follow us on social media at TTT Live Online. Log on to www.ttt.live.
It's your birthday, baby. Birthday, baby.
If it's your birthday, we say happiest of birthdays to you. Welcome back inside the Now Morning Show. Wait, let me start with some belated birthdays. I think we missed some people yesterday. Yeah, man. So let me say happy belated birthday going out to Pablo Phillips, a.k.a. Fit Addict. Good morning to you and happy belated birthday to you,
Never
Pablo.
knew Pablo's last name.
Me neither.
Like, I don't ever remember that at all.
Also want to say happy belated birthday going out to Mr. Jason Riley, expert videographer and director. Happy belated birthday to you. And of course, master entertainer, Mr. David Barrow. We say happy belated birthday to you. I hope that you guys had a great day yesterday and were able to celebrate it to the max.
Bringing it into today, though, because today we have a lot of videos as well. Cohen Dory Thorpe, the man who is running the video game, and I say video game as in music videos, for quite some time now, celebrates his birthday today alongside Big George Gonzalez.
Big George,
DJ, radio personality, comedian. He's probably on air as we speak.
Yes, yeah.
So real with this time around. I want to say a very special happy birthday going out to my friend, designer, and the person who's, design I'm actually wearing right now, Shari Winchester, a.k.a. Shop Shari.
Shop Shari!
Her birthday today. So good morning, Shari. Hope you have a fantastic birthday. Also saying happy birthday going out to Natasha Hislop, who celebrates today. Ooh, hey, plenty.
Yeah.
There she is. And let me also say to Anil Phillip from your wife and son Matthew Phillip, happy birthday to you. Ooh.
Of course.
Real good day today.
Actually, let me also say happy birthday going on to Mr. Ivan Mendoza, celebrating his birthday today. Ivan, I hope that you have a fantastic day today. True talk, no lie. I hope that you have a great birthday today. I also want to say happy birthday to Mr. Albert Laveau, one of the founding members of the Trinidad Theatre Workshop. He celebrates his birthday today. So happy birthday to you, Mr. Laveau. Hope that you have a great day today.
Nice. I want to also wish Anil a happy birthday because Anil and I are actually schoolmates. We went to school together, yep.
Oh, nice.
And I know that Anil would have wished his wife happy birthday last week, and so his birthday is actually this week. So happy birthday to you, Anil. I hope you have a great day today. I'm also wishing a happy birthday to Tanya Weston in my Rotary Club. She's the current club admin chair, and she's the upcoming president for our new year, which begins in July. So happy birthday, Tanya. I hope you have a great day today. We're going to make it fun. We're going to see what we can do.
Tell me something now.
Send cake.
What Rotary Club does do?
So Rotary Club, we actually are, you could say that we're a charitable organization, and so we raise funds to help certain how you could call it, certain charitable events, I would say. So, for example, our Choker Fest that we had last weekend, we partner with the, there's a school in Beetham called the All-in-One School and the Each One Teach One School.
Yeah.
So we partner with them in the Beetham community. We supply them with books, with materials for school. We are also partnering with the IATF. They have a Hearts and Minds Foundation, and we're bringing out the very first Beetham Steel Youth Orchestra.
That is performance.
So we're raising, so we have partnered with them a lot, and we're bringing out a steel orchestra with the Police Youth Club. So we know firsthand how beneficial joining a police youth club can be and how it really helps the youth in the area.
Speaking of steel orchestras, we actually have the National Steel Symphony Orchestra coming up on the show in a little while. Well, they're not coming to perform or they stay calm. We're just coming to discuss some things
and I doubt they're giving out any tickets, so...
I mean, we could ask nicely.
Well, we could see.
We could try and hook out here, but I make no promises, right?
So many things that we given away all the time on now. I mean, they just join the crew. Give away 2 little tickets. Come on.
They come here for...
No, but that'll be a nice conversation, because I was talking to Akua yesterday and he was saying that, you know, this is the return after COVID. And I think we're seeing a lot of events coming back after COVID.
It's jazz season.
Exactly, you know, so they're actually really, really excited about that. And we're going to get into some more details.
I got a sneak peek yesterday and I was macroing, right? So don't tell him I said this, right? I was macroing yesterday, right? And they're playing some songs in this show. You
it's about
I can't, if I started to sell it out now, I'm like, you will get vexed with me, you'll get vexed with me.
Don't worry, when he comes on,
but let me tell you, but they're sounding good. The National Steel Symphony is sounding great. I heard them rehearsing yesterday, and I think it's going to be a blow mind show, but I'll let go and talk about it a little bit later inside the show this morning.
I like how we have very, very eclectic mixes of options to go to, because as much as we talk about things opening up and the place getting back normal and that sort, we're seeing a lot of sit-down events, a lot of events that we can actually enjoy very calmly, very physically distanced. And so it doesn't necessarily
And they still have the odd fact that it's got complained about.
I wouldn't say odd, because they're in the numbers. But I think it's nice that we have those options, because there's a gradual return to public life. And I say public life, but social life.
Outside in general.
That is nice and slow.
Yeah, and one of the things happening coming up is the Africa Film Festival, Africa Film Trinidad and Tobago Festival, which is coming up. Actually, I think it's next week.
That's right.
Yeah, so we're going to chat a little bit about that this morning as well. We have some guests that should be joining us, and I mentioned earlier we have brand new music to drop on you guys this morning. So look forward to that happening inside this hour as well. It's going to be an interesting hour, mixed A mixed bag of nuts, as we call it.
A mixed bag of nuts. That's how
I didn't say that because it's George
I was just about
That's
to say.
the only reason I say that. That's the only reason I say it.
Pun definitely intended.
For the fifth dad joke of the morning, you are not allowed anymore. Like, stop that.
Pun definitely intended.
Let me jealous. You can't make a good dad joke.
Oh my gosh.
I'm not a dad. I'm pretty good on that one. Speaking of which, let me say good morning going on to my parents who I know are tuned in. And I also want to say a very, very special good morning because yesterday I had to go into licensing to renew my license. And the experience was absolutely delightful.
Which branch?
I would have gone to Caroni.
Okay.
I know a lot of the times. I know a lot of the times we tend to talk about when things aren't going well. So I think give everybody their flowers when things are going well. Let me make sure I get the name right. Special good morning going out to Mr. Gavin Jones. Thank you very much for making my experience exceptional at the Caroni location.
That's what you're saying?
Gavin is the man who took care of me yesterday.
So Gavin is your
and made sure that I had a very pleasurable experience in one of those institutions before.
Did you know Gavin before yesterday?
I would just say here.
I just trying to figure out how does nepotism must work now, boy. If it is indeed nepotism.
I actually only met. I actually only met. I would have met him that morning. Didn't know what he looked like. I guess he found me because my hair is purple.
The people want to know.
But I appreciate you, sir. Thank you very much.
I've heard good things about Caroni. I've also heard good things about St. James. And St. James is you're in, you're out.
Yes.
Yeah, it's really
every time I've gone to both of those, I've had a very smooth experience. So I would have to say kudos to the licensing division.
So to all of you who are in the licensing division, making our days a little bit easier, we say thank you, good morning, and stick around. And our morning show has more good stuff when we return after these messages.
Linky.
People of God, I invite you to join me on Know the Truth, a Christian faith program dedicated to bringing the truth of the Bible. The truth that will heal your soul, that will help you in everything in your life, because the truth is needed. So join me on Saturday, 8:30 a.m. and on Sunday, 10:30 p.m. I am Pastor James, right here on TTT.
The Division of Education, Innovation and Energy's e-learning program for primary and secondary school students resumes. Tune in daily to stay on top of your studies. Lectures designed to guide you so that you keep up with your subjects. Also, for supplemental lessons and worksheets, visit our interactive website at www.thadeie.gov.tt.
Line and Length, the #1 cricket program in the West Indies, is on TTT. Line and Length brings you up-to-date interviews, analysis, and highlights on the game in the region and internationally. Plus, there's an added bonus to receive a gift of gear each month with our grassroots program. Go to lineandlength.net to learn more. Line and Length in association with Massey United Insurance on TTT.
Welcome to another informative episode of TT Online Community Voices. It is brought to you with the kind compliments of the Ministry of Sport and Community Development.
Every single citizen should be able to at least have the conversation now of what to do next.
To help you to achieve your goals, your life goals, and to further progress yourself in life.
Hi, and welcome to Pop, Penny on Point with profiles on persons of interest. When we looked at your credentials, Nadia, I don't think we had enough spaces in our lines to fill it in. VIP or general?
General, all day.
You see that?
Yeah. You can use Hennessy, Cavassier, anything that you can want to be fancy.
And if I want to do a rum instead?
Listen.
in a crowded place. Me and me cooler and we did. Hoping to find someone with a familiar face. So we could better celebrate.
Now that COVID-19 restrictions have been lifted, many people are planning and even attending events after being isolated for close to 2 years. Now, one such event is Fusion, the Jazz Experience 3, which is a concert presented by the Ministry of Tourism, Culture and the Arts, featuring the National Steel Symphony Orchestra and local guest artists. And so here to tell us more about it is, of course, the artistic director and conductor of the National Steel Symphony Orchestra, Mr. Akua Leith. Mr. Leith, good morning. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Now, it's being said that it's held under, of course, the auspices of the Ministry of Tourism, Culture and the Arts.
Yes.
And so it leads me to believe that there might be a deeper purpose for the event. What's the reason for the event?
Well, definitely the NSSO is part of the ministry. We are under that said ministry where we are commanded to do performances. So the Fusion, the Jazz Experience is within the whole jazz era, the jazz time. So our event comes around this time every year and is more reintroducing the NSSO to the public spaces after this COVID period. So
now, when is the event and what are some of the acts we can see, or even some of the songs that we can hear play? Because I know Rokas was teasing us with something before.
Yes, he's taking a back seat and listening from off stage. Well, the event is on the 21st, this Saturday, at the Naprima Bowl. The program is laid out in a way where we show how genres from before, or at least performers or artists from before, are still influencing these generation that's coming next. We are fusion, things like reggae and jazz, calypso. We have pop. We have artists like Terrence Shaw, who's a prolific jazz artist, coming and join us on the show. We have Quinton Nichols, who's a young artist who is very much upcoming with his band 763. And I think the NSSO is more or less poised to deliver a high command show, a very energized music and performances for the audiences.
Now, I realize it's called fusion because you're fusing genres.
Yes.
What was the reason for this?
I mean, you know, sometimes when you are an orchestra, people expect a certain type of repertoire to be played. But we are showing that we are breaking down those barriers. We could literally present any type of program based on the season. So the fusion gives us an opportunity now to not just do jazz, but to do other stuff, and to show that the versatility of the instrument is going beyond just one particular style. I think in the programming, what we are also doing is showing how artists, like for instance, voice, we know of Out and Bad, but Out and Bad is actually from an old kitsch. So how he was able to fuse that, you see how Justin Bieber used the style for, as Rokas was saying, leave the door open. But if you think of Hotel California had that same style in terms of how they presented themselves. So we are doing it in the educating point of view as well, but also in terms of genres and repertoire, how we could fuse and make things new and fresh for the audience to enjoy.
Nice. Now you mentioned kitsch and then you mentioned Justin Bieber.
Right.
So I'm guessing it's going to be a wide target audience that you plan to perform for.
Definitely. So we are catering for the seasoned, we are catering for the new audiences, we are catering for the young, we are catering for the kids. So anyone could come and enjoy this Fusion, the Jazz Experience show.
Nice. Now it's the Jazz Experience 3, which leads me to believe that there might have been 2 others before.
Correct.
Right. Who would have performed in the 2 others and why bring it back now?
Well, definitely, the reason for now, that's answering your first question, is because we are allowed to. You know, the concert halls are now opened, and we could now present these type shows again. In the first instance, we did the UTT Jazz Ensemble. The second instance, we did Moyen. We also had soloist Fauna Bigfoot. So it was held in front of Napa. And I think we have outgrown that space. We are now taking it indoor at Naprima Bowl and even giving it to the Southland an opportunity to experience this type show. So now is the perfect time. I think there's no other time better than now.
Now, Mr. Leith, you have toured extensively, right, promoting the national instrument. You were under the direction of Liam Teague and Steel Pan pioneer Clifford Alexis. Sorry, your bio is basically extensive.
Yes.
I mean, how important is it to even come back home and do these type of shows?
I mean, it's critical. I think destination, especially for the Steel Pan, where we take it is one thing, but also what we do home is critical for what the wider world is seeing. Trinidad has to always show that we are carrying it beyond certain boundaries. It is also critical to keep it out of this border as well. So coming back home for me was a main thing. I mean, I didn't want to just take my skills, take my talent, all my learned craft, and remain out of Trinidad. I am grateful for this, for my home country. I'm grateful for what I learned, and I think there's a responsibility on my end to make sure and keep carrying steel pan beyond what we expected and to new frontiers in the future.
Now, the NSSO, I believe you have your 15th anniversary coming up.
Yes.
Any planned celebrations you can hint at least for now?
Yes, but definitely everything we do coming in 2022 is part of the celebration. But there's a climax to that. So Fusion is the first public event. We have Women in Pan coming up. Dates will be announced. We have our premiere show, Pan on a Higher Note, which is in August. And there's a whole national celebration. Seeing that Trinidad is also celebrating its 60th independence. So we are all part of that energy, and each one is part of the celebration. Maybe we should do something in Tobago as well to make sure and keep it rounded around the both islands.
I think Tobago's might be crying out for something to see the NSSO there. Yes,
definitely.
Nice. Now, I know you had a partnership with, was it a steel pan producing company? Is that still going on?
Well, definitely. I mean, outside of this thing, I am also coming out with a manufacturing company, which you'll hear more in the near future. Not this program is more about the jazz fusion type event, but yes, I'm involved in other aspects of the steel pan fraternity, also in the community bands. Also as a teacher, there's also advising and mentorship happening with young steel pan professionals as well. So I'm more or less holistically involved, and this is my main part as the artistic director of the National Steel Symphony Orchestra.
I mean, Akua, what fuels your passion to just keep promoting the steel pan?
That goes deep. I mean, when I started secondary school in 1994, I mean, I'll show you my age by that. Yeah, I'm going to the big 40 this year. But it was what I went to for me to be able to get through, if you understand what I'm saying without saying much. But steel pan did a lot for me. I think if it wasn't for steel pan, I wouldn't be here today. And that, when I realized there was a energy behind it. Over here, people say the pan zombie bite you.
Yes.
But it didn't just bite me. It took me. It chewed me up. It have me definitely in a space that I never believed I could have been in. And I think I'm only grateful for that. And then today, the pioneers who would have paved the way for persons like myself, who I think I have a responsibility to continue that legacy that they would have paved for this instrument and these people on this island, because we are giving something to the world that the world has never seen before, and somebody has to be passionate about that. And I think I am passionately saying I'm one of those persons. Yeah.
Now, going back to the jazz event, this is the third installment. Do you see that we're going to be continuing this for years to come?
Yeah, I think the the jazz experience will become a festival. I mean, right now we have it in concert halls. We did it in front of Napa. It'll become bigger than that, where we could take that across the islands. I mean, we have it in Napa River Bowl, but maybe at some point in time we could have it at Napa River Bowl, Napa, Queen's Hall, even the Tobago Convention Center in the same season. Even have it beyond our island, have it as an experience across the other islands, so even have it on an international basis. So we have to see it in terms of evolving to whatever that energy takes it to be. So it's definitely something that should stay and will stay beyond now.
Of course. And the National Steel Symphony Orchestra, any other events we can look out forward to for this year and even beyond?
Yes, we definitely open up to what we call open rehearsals, so persons can start coming in and see what we are preparing for. That's one aspect. We have school visits, we call it contact series. We have an event called Women in Pan, as I mentioned earlier, that the dates will be announced for that, and we have our premiere show, Pan on a Higher Note, which will be the climax for our 15th anniversary celebration.
For any young person who's listening and they're as passionate about you as you about the event, or even about joining the Steel Orchestra, is there like a scouting period where you look for new talent?
Well, we have auditions and interviews that is advertised. Sometimes we do scout. So at that time, we put out an ad in the papers, persons apply, we shortlist based on skill set, based on education, and we invite those persons, and also based on need. So in the orchestra, there are different skill sets from tenor to double seconds, and each person specialized in those areas. And then they are invited to that audition. They play 2 premier pieces, one on their primary instrument and one on their secondary instrument, and then there's an interview process. At the end of that, we have a shortlisting of who made the grade, and then we hire accordingly. So I'm looking forward to have some of that continue within this year and into next year, and of course that is based on the ministry and how that could be accommodated. So definitely.
Now on Saturday, I know you would have mentioned some of the things we can look forward to, but any tributes, any special things that we can look out for?
Yes, you know, we have Kitchen celebrated his 100th birthday in 2022, so we are paying tribute to him. And we lost a very great soca artist, Blacks, so we are also giving him a level of homage. So there's that as well in the program. So it's an exciting time. I think the repertoire is varied, and as Ruckus was saying, we are prepared. We are prepared and we are ready to deliver come this weekend.
Nice. Yeah. And Mr. Leith, before you go, anybody who wants more information about the show, is there a website or social media platform they can go to?
Yes, check out Naprima Bowl, and they are the persons who are dealing with all the ticket sales. On the flyer at the bottom there's contact numbers. I think you get a ticket between 10 and 6 p.m. The ticket is only $100. You're definitely getting a gift with that $100 price. So take it up. There are limited seats, so hope to see most of you all there. Yes.
Mr. Leith, it's always a pleasure. Thank you so much for joining us. So now, and of course, sharing with us, Jazz the Fusion 3.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for having me.
And that was Mr. Akua Leith, who is the artistic director and the conductor of the National Steel Symphony Orchestra, just telling us about the event they're having this Saturday at the Naprima Bowl. Of course, stay with us because up next we have arts and culture with Ayinka. Stay with us.
I will make food security a reality.
I will design groundbreaking prototypes.
I will create the next life-saving vaccine.
Whatever your career aspirations, the University of the West Indies St. Augustine campus is where tomorrow's game changers begin their journey. With fully accredited programs across 8 faculties, our graduates are innovating regionally and impacting globally. See what it's like to be UE. Visit sta.uwi.edu/apply.
The best for your baby is at thebesttoys.com. From the best strollers, car seats, baby carriers, high chairs, booster seats, rockers, jumpers and bouncers, walkers, baby blankets, feeding accessories, bathtubs, gyms and play mats, playpens, cribs, baby swings, changing tables, diaper bags, clothing and accessories, and the widest range of educational toys. We carry Infantino, Dr. Brown, Avent, Graco, Chico, Fisher-Price, VTech, Leapfrog, Disney Baby, Delta Children, Medela, and Twist Shape. Visit us in-store at Forces Flagship McBean. Shop online now at thebesttoys.com. No credit card required. Free delivery throughout Trinidad and Tobago on orders over $300. Cash or links on delivery. Order via call or WhatsApp at 332-BABY. And remember, we have the best toys at the best prices.
I'm Renee Sion with another edition of Caribbean Week in Review.
I may not be right for you, but I'm right for somebody.
It's your girl Didi, and we are back with another episode of We Outside. You know we have been hitting you with events week upon week. Greatness happening, and it continues to happen.
I may not be right for you, but I'm right for somebody. Yeah, 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 yeah. I'm looking good, I'm feeling good, I'm real good, I'm real.
This is simply a taste of Carnival 2022 because it's nothing like the Carnival we've grown accustomed to. All right, so as a matter of fact, today we need Queen's Park Savannah, Steel Pan, the medium bands, and of course the big bands. They're going to be giving us a musical showdown in the big yard.
Keeping the carnival alive. This is the land of carnival. This is the home free.
The annual Africa Film Trinidad and Tobago Showcase, the very best of contemporary and classic films from the African continent and its diaspora. Now in its 8th year, Festival Director Asha Lovelace and Festival Coordinator Melanie Jones join us on Now to tell us what to expect in this year's celebration of the Africa cinemas and its diasporas. Good morning, ladies, and welcome to the Now Morning Show.
Good morning. Good morning.
That reel had me excited because we were seeing snippets of films that were hand-selected to be part of this year's festival. Tell me again, with this year being the 8th year, what we hope to achieve or continue to achieve through the Africa Film Trinidad and Tobago Festival. I will start with you, Ms. Lovelace, to do exactly that.
Yes, hi, morning. Well, we are happy, to be back in person. So we have a really exciting festival planned this year. It is probably going to be a bit smaller than we had in previous years. And by that I mean the programming will be a little tighter. But we have 5 days of films and different activities, including an art exhibition with emerging artists that's going to be running for the entire week, a market, our annual Afrobeats party, and much, much more. We'll also have some workshops and streaming workshops from between the continent and Trinidad and so on. So it's going to be quite a full week of events.
It sounds like that. That means Miss Jones Powell, sorry about the erroneous missing of your last name. But Melanie, that means that your hands are full as coordinator.
Exactly.
Tell me what it was like to try to create or procure this festival this time around, making sure that you fit all of that into this week.
Well, I mean, so for the last couple of years, with the pandemic, we tried to keep the festival as buoyant, as vibrant as it would have been from year one. So, now that we're back in person, I would say post-pandemic, we still wanted to maintain that vibrancy. We also wanted to have a lot more young people involved this year in the festival. So, as Asha mentioned, we have our Afro-Vibe art exhibition where we have young emerging artists. So we're gonna have art from the girls from St. Jude's. We also have some artists, student artists, artists coming out of UE, showcasing some of their work. And the theme this year is empowered by women. A lot of the muses are female figures. For the make and play workshop that we have, it's open to kids 5 and up. So we have that facilitated by Baba and Madupe Onolu. They're multi-instrumentalists, so the kids get to make their own instrument, play, and take home. So, it definitely is a handful, but the challenge, it wasn't exactly as challenging as I thought it was going to be, just because we tried to maintain, the same energy moving forward. So it was somewhat seamless.
It sounds like a job well done, especially when we're talking about making sure that the youth are involved, and of course a very active festival. Apart from the films themselves, the exhibitions and workshops are certainly going to be something that everyone will want to be a part of. And if we had to do so, do we contact the Black Box? Do we contact yourself? How does the public become a part of that?
So you can find a lot of information right now on social media. So it's at Africa Film TT on Facebook and Instagram. You can also check out our website, which is www.africafilmtt.com. There's a full program on the website currently. And then you can also, so there's website, there's social media. You can also email us at africafilmtt@gmail.com.
All right. Now, Ms. Lovelace.
And we also have a telephone number that you can reach us at, which is 796-8988.
All right. We know that call is going to come because I was looking at some of the films that are included in the festival, at least the clips thereof, and we have entries from Sundance Film Festival, the Cannes Film Festival. We have quite the elite group there. That selection process must be a little difficult.
Yeah, well, I mean, the festival is a curated festival, so every year we really try to handpick a really great variety of films. The opening film this year is by Jessica Genius. She's from Haiti, and it's a film called Frida. This is her first film, and she's been really doing quite well with this film. It won the second best prize at the FESPACO festival, which is probably one of the most significant festivals in Africa. So she has been doing really quite well with this film, and we're really, really pleased that we are able to screen it here. This would be its Caribbean premiere. So we're looking forward to that. It's just one screening. That's the opening night, which is on Tuesday, the 24th,
right,
at Black Box. So we expect that this would be, we get a really great turnout for this one.
Quite the grand opening there. Now, if we wanted to book our spot to be able to view, remind us of that number to use, please.
Right. It's 796-8988.
Beautiful. Now, 8 years means that we're looking forward to all the other numbers, 9, 10, 11, and 12 probably already in planning, I hope. If you wanted to be a part of this, whether it be to volunteer with Miss Jones Powell or to actually help in any other way, how do we get in contact with you guys to become active parts of the festival?
Yeah, I mean, just shoot us an email, send us a DM on Instagram, reach out to us via phone, and we're pretty responsive. So we would, respond as soon as we see the message, which is, almost every minute with monitoring. So please reach out to us. We welcome volunteers, especially, people who are willing, who are able, who believe in the festival, who believe in what we're doing, completely open to it. So feel free to reach out to us anytime.
Sounds good. Is it too late to join the marketplace, though? I know that might have set spots or numbers of persons that you can accommodate. Is that still something that is an option?
It's not too late. It's not too late. Again, open to it. So, I would just encourage persons who are interested to reach out to us as soon as possible, because we are in the final stages of planning. But we're always open to people who are interested and want to be a part of it.
Now, one of the other films that were included, Miss Lovelace, was It's Not a Burial, is it? Why did we decide?
It's not a burial, it is a resurrection, yeah.
This one had a little bit of a sliver that had me really interested, and I wanted to learn a little bit more about it. What can you tell me?
Well, it's a beautiful film. Is from Lesotho. Again, these are some of these countries are not producing a whole lot of films, but when they do come out with something, it's usually quite strong. So this is a film again that has been doing the festival circuit not only in Africa but throughout Europe and so on. And we're really it's a really interesting film. I don't want to give away what it is about, but the protagonist is an older woman in her 80s. And looking for a sense of place and belonging. So I think this would be a really good treat for the audience. So this is our closing night film, which will be on Saturday, the 28th. This is not a burial, it is a resurrection. So I hope you all come out to see that one.
Well, I'm marking my calendars to move around my schedule as much as possible. But if someone wasn't able to physically come in, can we also digitally link with the festival this year?
Say that again. Sorry, if there's like a virtual online option?
Yes. No, we don't have that option this.
Yeah.
We're having some technical difficulty there. I believe we've gotten a little bit frozen.
The only thing, am I frozen too?
I'm hearing you now.
Okay.
I like the dance.
The only thing that we do have that is a hybrid event is our Nolly Watch event on the Thursday, which is in partnership with Film TT. We are going to be calling in some people from Nigeria, and it is going to be live streamed. So I think we can open that up some way, somehow. So that's just one panel discussion. But we do encourage people to come out in person.
Right.
As much as they can.
And in that case, we look forward to coming over to Trinidad and Tobago, at least virtually from Nollywood in that regard. I'm absolutely looking forward to the workshops and that grand opening film. Reminded me of a book I read recently, and really truly inspiring stuff of young women and their plight in a sense of self being developed. Great stuff. And of course, very much on par with completing the mission of the Africa Film and Trinidad and Tobago Festival, that is, in creating that connection and continuing to share stories that we need to hear. So joining me this morning, let me say thank you again to the Africa Film and TT Festival founder and director, Miss Asha Lovelace, and of course, Melanie Jones-Powell, the festival coordinator. Ladies, thank you so much for making it possible, for continuing to do so well, and of course, best of luck as we head over to the Black Box from May 24th till May 28th. Thanks again for joining us this morning, ladies.
Thank you for having us. We look forward to seeing you all at the festival.
And of course, you guys have to hold on the fort for me next week in terms of seeing that one. But
I'm
some
actually
really
going to be
good
playing in the after party one on the Friday.
Of course you are. That makes complete sense. That makes complete sense.
Wouldn't expect anything differently.
But I really want to be able to see those films. So I look forward to being able to at least recap kind of after the festival, because a lot of the times these festivals introduce us to things that we didn't necessarily know existed. So as much as you may or may not be able to physically attend due to space constraints and that sort of thing, you certainly should go online and look for these films, as they're so important to, well, as they say, the mission to connect us to the diaspora and share our stories. Yeah.
Sounds interesting, yeah. And I mean, of course, we have coming up this weekend as well the jazz, the fusion, you know what I mean? And that sounds really interesting. I like how because of course I heard fusion and it didn't click until after that it is fusion. They're fusing these genres together. You know, to
and not just genres, but generations as well. Because like you mentioned, the Hotel California and Leave the Door Open, having that connection that we do always pay attention to, the Kitchener and Voice having that connection. So that's generational, and then it's different genres of music as well. So, you know, we just keep having a fantastic fusion. And I think, I mean, the under the direction of Mr. Lee, the NSSO, they sound brilliant. I mean, ever since I met them under the direction of Trussell Murray, they were sounding excellent, and they continue to sound excellent.
And we don't just say that, people abroad say that, because they performed in so many places and so many arenas, and I think people really do appreciate them. I mean, I can imagine people hearing the steel pan for the first time. You see some of the tourists when they come down and they're in they're around the savannah and they hear the steel pan for the first. Yeah, it is
absolutely in
But it's a whole different experience when you come to the Mecca, right?
Exactly.
Because it's one thing when you go on your little vacation and hear a little pling in the corner, a little man playing a little
when you're in the airport or in the hotel.
That's one experience. Right? Basically, when you get like a proper dose of panorama,
when
you get a proper session on the drag, or even when you go to a Panyard and you get a proper Panyard jam, it's a whole different experience.
They really are entranced. I mean, that's exactly, you see them with their little drink in their hand and they're like, what is this thing I'm hearing?
I am
all drums.
Yes, it's definitely without drink
even
too.
Without
I mean, I am absolutely used to it. I used to play pan all through school, and it's still the same experience every time. It is very much an entrancing thing. Nothing sounds like it. And when they say sweet pan, they mean that genuinely. I thoroughly enjoy it. So between the fusion of the different genres and of course the generations, between the fusion of the diasporas coming together, I think we have a lot to look forward to where the arts and culture is concerned, and I'm excited about it.
And I mean, we were talking about it earlier in terms of the range of events that we're having. It's not just the fetes, right? It's not just the public gatherings and the large gatherings. We're having the jazz events. We're having the film festival. I think it's like there's everything for everybody. So since outside nice again and you want to go outside, there's so much to experience. So I think
outside
it's amazing.
Is expensive too, though. Just let you know. So as much as we might be continuing those conversations about, yes, different types of events, those that are a bit seem more socially responsible or pandemic-related responsible, I think it's also important to consider that we as Trinbagonians are very dynamic people, and so we need to have those sorts of dynamic events. Let's not shun any one or the other.
Variety is the spice of life. Now, ladies, I want to thank you all so much for being here this morning. I think that we're not going to see you all again tomorrow morning. Well, it's not my fault. I mean, the last segment is what the last segment is, right?
Are you guys ready?
I just want to let you all know that I appreciate you. That's all.
Thank
Thank
that so bad?
You better
Is that so
appreciate
bad?
it. Because let's be honest,
Yes.
that last segment is going to be one that we want to get up and dance.
Yes.
We want to enjoy the outsideness
up
that we
and
bring in
dance.
inside today in our morning show.
Bringing the inside outside. The
Outside nice,
inside.
inside nice, you know, everything nice.
Just
Get up
sanitize and wear a
dance.
mask, physically distance, and keep safe. With everything.
I think that's the ending there. No, I think that's a good segue to break.
You go ahead. You go ahead.
Of course, it means that there's going to be more to the show. There's
have
going
to
to
end with
be
the
a
performance.
musical interlude of sorts just before we wrap things up. But that means that Kimberly and I will only be back as backup dancers. Until then, guys, we take a break. We come back with more here on the Now Morning Show. And of course, Roka's taking us to that break with some good music.
Ooh, with that musical
As we talk
interlude.
about Afrobeats now, you know, a little Kimber Sozano.
Hey.
Oh, I remember this one.
I'm living at the M from AM to PM. Oh, tell me where you want to. Where you're moving that body like IG, I follow you. Oh,
Trinidad and Tobago, get ready for the ultimate musical experience. Saturday, June 4th, the Port of Spain International Waterfront, Suite 100.1 FM brings to you Jazz, a fusion of our music and culture. Introducing performances by Pedro Lazama, Joshua Regrello, Nyla Blackman, and Soca. Sharada Patissar with a tribute to her father, Mungel Patissar. Introducing Adrian Kong, called Bieber Henderson, featuring Kay Allen and Mauricia Kagan. Freetown Collective, Patrice Roberts and the A-Team Band. The Boss, King David Rudder. And the Queen of Bacchanal, Destra. Limited advance tickets now, $500. Premium drinks inclusive. Dress code, you must wear white. To purchase tickets, log on to www.islandetickets.com. No credit card, no worries. Stay tuned to Suite 100 and follow us on Facebook and Instagram for ticket outlet details. Jazz, a fusion of our music and culture. Brought to you by the #1 adult contemporary station in Trinidad and Tobago. Suite 100, powered by Digicel. Digicel, better together. Udicott, signed, sealed, delivered. And the TDT Limited Media Network. This is Jazz.
For Indian arrival, come be part of the NCIC's Indian Heritage Month with a 4-weekend calendar of celebrations featuring live shows and exhibitions. It all begins on Friday, May 6th with an evening of folk culture at 6 p.m. Then 5 p.m. Saturday shows. On May 14th, relax and enjoy lovely classical music. May 21st is a treat for local classical singing fans. May 28th, dance fills the stage. On the holiday Monday, May 30th, is the Grand Cultural Show, Journey of the Indentured, and browse through the Heritage Exhibitions. From May 21st to June 6th, the NCIC's Indian Heritage Month at the Nagar Grounds. Free admission and parking.
The Division of Education, Innovation and Energy's e-learning program for primary and secondary school students resumes. Tune in daily to stay on top of your studies. Lectures designed to guide you so that you keep up with your subjects. Also, for supplemental lessons and worksheets, visit our interactive website at www.thadeie.gov.tt.
Thanks and praise to Black Star Music Production alongside E.G. Rams and Cards. You know, this is your boy Reliant. Well, tell me why I the only trying to find me. Why I'm going to change the
outlook of the system. The system. I'm a youth, be aware of some of the things that happening in society. In terms of the way how Babylon and them really treating me. I'm a child of God, so be careful of the things you do in me. It hurt me to see it's my own kind acting blind in this time. Boy, oh boy, I shake my head and walk away instead. As soon as I reach home, I give thanks and praise, build my consciousness and relax on all the meds. So I say, hey, tell me why I do trying to fight me. I'm going to change the outlook of the system. The officer pulled me over and say, hey, Roots, man, I know you are the pusher, man. And I say, no, right now I'm on my way to the studio to record my song, then listen to it on the radio. As sooner or later, we'll see you all standing, watching me on the stage show. Babylon want I to live in fear just because I told them I'm not cutting off my hair. I told them respect the life that I'm living. I'm not a negative, I'm always on positive. Tell me why the only trying to fight the fight is.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have Ro Lion in studio this morning, and he's trying to change the outlook of the system.
Yes, I.
That's a big task you have ahead of you there, brother.
Yeah, brother, boy, for real.
How you gonna do that, boy?
Well, you know, I'm a youth believe in God too. You know what I mean? So anything possible once I work with the Almighty.
Well, how long have you been in this music thing? I mean, you're using music to try and change the outlook, right?
Yes, I.
How long are you doing this now?
Well, I started singing at the age of 12, and I write my first song at the age of 16. So it's 11 years now I've been in this musical industry.
And how has the journey been so far?
Well, you know, it's a little ups and downs in it, you know. Sometimes you may feel like giving up, but, you know, as I said before, once you believe in the Almighty, anything could happen.
Anything could happen.
Yes, sir.
I still want to know how you're going to change the outlook of the system, because the system set up in a particular way. You mentioned some of it just now in the song, right? You say that Babylon, which is the system, wants to judge you based on the fact that you're not cutting your hair, you're from a particular area, all of these factors that work to usually not be in your favor.
Yeah.
How do you change the outlook of that system?
Well, first and foremost, right, is like, you see the discrimination behind it.
Yeah.
When them say that, yeah, but Ras, my thing, Ras, selling weed, selling coke, all kind of thing. I know I'm not that type of person, you know, so I had to live up to that. So that's why I say, outlook of the system now.
Yeah.
You know?
But how have you been able to also change that perspective when it comes to your peers, the people you're alignment with, your friends?
Definitely, yeah. Because my circle's small too, you know, and I'm a humble youth, so I don't really affiliate myself around them elements.
But do you feel like as an artist, it's part of your journey or your job to be able to influence those others?
Yes, and also my personal liberty too.
Right.
That's just how I am. I'm a cool youth, so, you know, that environment, yeah, everything just I man.
All right, nice, man. So tell us, where can we find your music and that kind of thing?
Well, on YouTube, you will find me at Ro Lion Music, Instagram, Ro Lion _music, and Facebook is Ro Lion Joseph.
Ro Lion Joseph, and
yes,
Ro Lion Music everywhere else.
Everywhere.
Yeah, you had to give us one more before we go, if that's all right.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, so the next one you're going to give us is a track called In This Life?
Yes, sir.
Tell me about that one.
Well, this song is based on a true story. Well, I ended up losing my brother in 2015, you know, and this song is also based on reality, see me.
All right, well, Ro Lion is going to take us to the top of the hour with this one. Of course, at the top, we have Roxanne Suraj coming up with your TTT News. My name is Rokas. On behalf of Kimberly D'Souza and, of course, Ianka Will, wishing you a fantastic Wednesday. Remember to go out there and make a difference today now, because together we aspire, together we achieve. Ro Lion, if it's all right with you.
Yeah. Oh, nah, yeah. Yeah, oh na 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 na, yeah. Well, this one is for Trinidad and Tobago, you know. Rest in peace, my brother Richie for life, you know what I mean? In this life, it is not no game. You got to go on your knees and pray for another day. Whoa, whoa. In this life, it is not no game. You got to go on your knees and pray for another day. Whoa, whoa. We living in a serious time. All reliance and violence and crime. Every day my brethren which you always on my mind. Still I wonder brother come and take your life. Yeah, I remember we kick ball on the Thursday. You told me the Friday is a birthday, and 3 days after you died on the Monday. And it's like it is not no game. You got to go on your knees and pray for another day. Whoa, whoa. And it's like it is not no game. You got to go on your knees and pray for another day. Whoa, whoa. To the little children at the age of 10 to 15, ask God to show you a way to succeed. Honor your mother and your father, and your days will be long on the land of the living, yeah. Just to make them depressing when they see you on the TV missing, holding their heads crying and bawling on the penance around them. What you come back home tomorrow, and it's like it is not no game. You got to go on your knees and pray for another day. Whoa, whoa. And it's like it is not no game. You got to go on your knees. Whoa, whoa. Oh, na na na, baby. My people out there, Trinidad and Tobago, be wise and open out your eyes. Yes, I tell you, I sing this song from the bottom of my heart. Yes, I'm feeling the vibes. Oh yes, I'm feeling the vibe. Yeah. Boy. Oh now, sing again, yeah. And it's life, it is not no game. You got to go on your knees and pray for another day. Whoa, and it's life, it is not no game. You got to go on your knees and pray for another day. Whoa, yeah. And I say give thanks and praise each and every time, you know. Trinidad, love all every time, you know. Little children, honor your mother and your father, you know what I mean?
This is simply a taste of Carnival 2022 because it's nothing like the Carnival we've grown accustomed to. All right, so as a matter of fact, today we need Queen's Park Savannah, Steel Pan, the medium bands, and of course the big bands. They're going to be giving us a musical showdown in the big yard.
Keeping the carnival alive. This is the land of Carnival. This is the home free.
TDT News. Committed, accurate, relevant.
The Division of Education, Innovation and Energy's e-learning program for primary and secondary school students resumes. Tune in daily to stay on top of your studies. Lectures designed to guide you so that you keep up with your subjects. Also, for supplemental lessons and worksheets, visit our interactive website at www.hadeie.gov.tt.
The Mother Church of the Anglican Diocese suffered significant damage during the earthquake of 2018. Efforts are underway to raise funds to restore this national heritage site. You are invited to make your donations with monthly deposits at any branch of the First Citizens Bank Account number 2696950, Marval Road Branch, in the name of the Incorporated Trustees of the Anglican Holy Trinity Cathedral Restoration.
Welcome to TTT News. I am Roxanne Suraj. Good morning. Making the news at this time. Former Minister of Energy Conrad Enil has been appointed High Commissioner to Guyana. According to a press release from the Ministry of Foreign and CARICOM Affairs, Enil was presented with his instruments of appointment by Minister of Foreign and CARICOM Affairs, Dr. Amory Brown, during a brief presentation ceremony. Senator Brown indicated that His Excellency would be guided by the government's policy framework, which underscores that the Ministry of Foreign and CARICOM Affairs and its diplomatic network of overseas missions must be the front line of projecting the interests of Trinidad and Tobago internationally. Enil has considerable experience in the areas of energy, finance and business, having served as Minister of Energy and Energy Industries between 2007 to 2010 and Minister in the Ministry of Finance between 2001 to 2006. He is also the current chairman of the National Gas Company of Trinidad and Tobago. There were consultations between the previous administration of the Tobago House of Assembly and the central government regarding development of a marina at Friendship, Tobago. This statement was made by the Minority Council of the THA on Tuesday. Minority Leader Calvin Morris quoted from documents which he said provided details of the engagement.
In or about 2017, the representative of the Tobago House of Assembly presented a comprehensive proposal for the development of the marina industry in Tobago to the Standing Committee for the Development of the Marina Sector. So what you had, the government would have had a standing committee with respect to all infrastructural development programs, and the Tobago House of Assembly would have had a representative on that committee. And of course, the marina was one of those interested projects.
Mr. Morris explained the Cabinet Minute was identified as being sent to the THA for action. Following this, further progress was made regarding the marina facilities.
Minute number 318, dated March 1st, 2018, it was agreed inter alia that there would be a development of a marina and marina-related facilities in Tobago to be undertaken by the Ministry of Works and Transport and the NITCO.
509 additional people have tested positive for COVID-19 in Trinidad and Tobago. The Ministry of Health says those results were from samples taken between May 14th and May 16th. The total number of active positive cases stands at 9,242, and 3 people have died as a result of COVID-19 in the past 24 hours. The Ministry of Health says the persons were 1 elderly male and 2 elderly females. Their deaths take the COVID-related death toll to 3,881. And over to sports. Nicholas Pooran Sunrisers Hyderabad celebrated a nail-biting victory over Kieron Pollard's Mumbai Indians in Tuesday's IPL contest. Sunrisers took first strike, amassing 193 for 6 from their 20 overs. Rahul Tripathi top-scored with 76, while Nicholas Pooran assisted with 38. In response, Mumbai were well ahead of the required rate at 95 for 1 at the halfway mark. However, young fast bowling sensation Umran Malik set them back with 3 strikes in the latter stages of the innings. That hurt the Mumbai batters tremendously. Tim David smashed a quick 46 from 18 balls, but Mumbai fell short of the target as Sunrisers clinched a narrow victory by 3 runs. Although picking up a win on Tuesday, they still will not qualify for the playoff rounds. And that was the latest news to the hour. I am Roxanne Suraj. Good morning, everyone.
This is TTT. Live for local.
The best for your baby is at thebesttoys.com. From the best strollers, car seats, baby carriers, high chairs, booster seats, rockers, jumpers and bouncers, walkers, baby blankets, feeding accessories, bathtubs, gyms and playmats, playpens, cribs, baby swings, changing tables, diaper bags, clothing and accessories, and the widest range of educational toys. We carry Infantino, Dr. Brown, Avent, Graco, Chico, Fisher-Price, VTech, Leapfrog, Disney Baby, Delta Children, Medela, and Twist Shape. Visit us in-store at Forces Flagship McBean. Shop online now at thebesttoys.com. No credit card required. Free delivery throughout Trinidad and Tobago on orders over $300. Cash or links on delivery. Order via call or WhatsApp at 332-BABY. And remember, we have the best toys at the best